Good morning YouTube. It is May the 7th and I just thought I ought to do just a quick plot tour for myself as well as yourselves, and I just wanted to show you the strawberries are starting to ripen. They're not all as big as that and they're not all in that stage, but some of the pots are outside because they have had green fly and I have been spraying them with neem oil. That's another story. I just wanted to show you French beans and some Belotti beans and a couple of types of runner beans that are all coming on. I'm trying to keep them as cool as possible so they don't get too big, so I don't have to put them out too early, because we have got some bad weather coming this weekend. And just there you can see I've got some pumpkins and squashes of various types and names, and they're all going in the polytunnel at night, which I must say in the polytunnel is getting still quite cold. It was 1.8 in there last night and there was a frost here again. It is quite a frost pocket down here. The weather people said it would be 6 degrees in Shrewsbury. Well, we're in just outside on the outskirts, so in the countryside it's always a little bit lower, but there was frost on the grass again this morning. So this is the area just outside the rear of the polytunnel where I'm planning to put my sunflowers. There's a lot of work to be done here. All this needs to be dug out and redone, and I'm still planning on having a pond there, but this is where the sunflowers hopefully will go. New potatoes, they're looking good. I'm covering these every night regardless of what the weather forecast is with fleece. They've gone too far now to get a frost on them. It would really knock them back. These are Lady Crystal and also Winston. Not had Winston before, but since I've bought them I have heard some people say that the flavour isn't brilliant on them, but we'll have to see about that. So that's the new potatoes, and there's the fleece poised at the one end, so I just pull it over and it's just a quick job just to cover them over at night. This bottom corner of the plot, I'm planning to have some longest runner beans up there, just to play about with, see how I get on with those. The strawberry plants, I shouldn't really be letting them flower, I suppose. This is their first year. They're coming on okay. I made a mistake. I took one of the old beds out and I should have left it in. I would have probably got some more strawberries this year off an older plant than this being their first year. So yeah, I'm going to have to start keeping an older plant, older plot for strawberries and a newer plot for bringing ones on. We live and learn. A lot of these beds are still empty. It's still very cold and there's still plenty of time. There's outdoor tomatoes going in there and there's dwarf French beans going in that one. Up here I've got support for Belotti beans. I've never grown those before, so I'll be trying those. They are all coming up. I have just shown you those. And there's what are supposed to be a second early strawberry. They're also in flower as well. They'll have to be covered this weekend with the frost forecast, and I have been covering them already each evening. Here I have some beetroot. There's red beetroot and there's also a white beetroot. These have been out quite a while, and the leaves are a bit hard, and that's just damage where they've been marked, but there isn't any leaf miner damage on these yet. I am keeping a close eye on them, but I haven't seen any on these at all. And the variety of these are Sanugella, and I think that one there is white albino. That's a white beetroot. None of these I have grown before, so I'm doing a lot of testing this year of different varieties. And then next year it'll be a lot more of single varieties or just a couple of varieties. Some lettuce there, and I've only just planted out. They were going to go on the compost heap. They were in a tray, so I split them up. They were all root bound. They got 2 chances just to see how they get on. Leeks. I've put my leeks in. I don't know if you can see underneath there the netting. I will keep netting on mine this year, all year, because I'm always suffering with the allium leaf miner. But the leeks are in there. There's 3 varieties: Musselborough, Mammoth Pot, and another trial variety that 1 or 2 others are doing, which is stocky. So the leeks will stay under there. I will raise the pallet collars up as they get a bit taller. But hopefully, if I can break the cycle of the allium leaf miner down here, perhaps I won't get them in the future. You never know. Carrot bed. I thinned these out yesterday and just gave them a little bit of a water just on top. I shan't be watering these much more now. Germination is nearly 100%. That one there looks like it's struggling a bit, but the others are doing well. This is all in sieved compost. There's 2 varieties here. One is a Namur, which is a Nance type, and I can't remember the other one, but I have labelled it, so I'll let you know at a later date. Cauliflower. I'm sure I'm going to get some decent cauliflowers, but I don't know which season. I planted these out at the end of September last year, and still haven't had one off them yet. If you look at the ribs on them, you can see that they're looking like they're going to form a decent plant. Well, they are a decent plant, but you know, a decent head. And it's only 1.2 meters by 1 meter, that box, and there is 9 cauliflowers in there. I have sprayed them with a bit of neem oil. I've got no netting on these. They are a bit leathery. They're not like fresh ones. I have seen the cabbage butterfly, and he's flown past them, stopped and didn't bother to land. He just carried on going. But they do look as though they're going to heart up pretty soon. But they're too good to take out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with those. Some sweet peas that my mum grew that I gave the seed. They went in yesterday. They look a bit miserable today, but they were completely root bound and I had to rip them apart. But they will come back. I'm confident that they'll be okay. The rest of this bed in the middle will be for some squashes or pumpkins, and I have my framework up for me runner beans and possibly some climbing French beans on there. Some more beetroot is sown in that end of this bed, and the rest of that bed will be for sweet corn. Some more sweet peas there, builder's mix, which I sowed in November. I think I'm going to start sowing them in January, February time, because they do take a bit of a battering, but they're away now, they are. And this coming up at an angle, this ironwork, that will be for outdoor cucumbers, and I'll let the outdoor cucumbers climb up there. Potatoes, obviously I'm covering them. These are lates and second earlies. I think there's 4 or 5 varieties there, but they're all through bar one, and there is a bit of soil movement in that one. So virtually all my potatoes are through now. Jerusalem artichokes, they've been through for quite a while. They're looking good. I have another pot over there. I put them in a 30-litre bucket this year instead of a florist bucket, which was a mistake last year. Up that pergola there, I'm going to put butternut squash or spaghetti squash, and the same on these 2 here. That is also going to be a pumpkin or butternut squash bed. I have some radish and spring onions. Spring onions are doing well for me this year. I don't usually have much success with them. This is the second lot that I sowed in modules and planted out. The other lot are in the polytunnel, and I've got another lot on the go, and they are all germinating as well. They're doing good, so I'm very pleased with those. Just up here is the wicking tub for the carrots. These are all sweet candle in here. I thinned these out the other day as well. I haven't watered this one for, I don't know, 10 days at least. And I have a meter here, pH meter and moisture meter. The pH, I don't really bother with pH really, but the water meter, if you can see that and I turn it on, you can see it's dry. But as I start to push that down, you can see it's not very far down, and it is bordering on the very wet. And if I keep going, that is very wet. In fact, it's off the scale there. So that's a handy little gadget. And for the carrots, that'll come in handy, that will, and it'll give me an idea whether the wicking system is working or not. So I shan't water me carrots again, and I shall just keep checking with this meter. This one has got its own wick, whereas that one there has got nothing. But I did water every layer as I put the compost in, so I'll keep an eye on that with the meter as well. Here I have, there's one potato in each of those, only with a single chit. One's kestrel, which is the one that's popping up, and the one that's just starting to show, that is Sarpomera. And there was a big potato in each, and it was only one chit on each. So I'll just see what happens with those. In this bucket here, last year I collected quite a lot of sheep muck, and it's in a bag, and I let it dry all through the winter, and it's been under this canopy under here, and I'm going to use that a certain amount to my water, and then I should be watering my brassicas with that. There I have some chard, some different types of chard, pink and pink passion chard, and I can't remember the other one. I used a different pen on the other one, and as you can see, it's come off. There I have a couple of celery. That's cutting celery. You just use the tops and cut the leaves. You don't use the stems at all, so there's no need to blanch them. I have got some elsewhere which I will be trying to not necessarily blanch, but I'll keep on bringing the pallet collars up. Here I have, I don't know what's going to happen here, but this is some giant veg, carrots, parsnips and beetroot, and I got no more containers left, and I got no more compost, so I've stuck them in there and just see what happens with them. They look okay. You can actually see the carrot is, the head of the carrot is probably as thick as my thumb, so a bit of fun. Next year I'll try a bit harder with these. It is something I would like to have a go at, but at the moment they're just stuck in a pallet collar, and that's where they'll stay, just to see what happens. Parsnips, I had excellent germination on these this year. I planted them probably a month later. Usually I go beginning middle of March, but I went about a month later with these. First or second week in April, and germination was quicker, and I think there's only one that hasn't come up there. I also thinned those out yesterday by cutting them with the scissors. Zabroom, banana shallots. I did these two ways, and the one way is obviously better than the other, but yeah, I took my eye off the ball with my onions a bit this year, and they're not brilliant. Here I have some shallots, Golden Gourmet. They look okay, they look good, and those are the only onion sets that I've got for spring sowing, and that is Red Baron. There's only a dozen there, and then I have a few different types of varieties here. Now the yellow Rhinesberg and the Walla Walla ones came from the same company, one of the cheaper companies, and that there doesn't look like an onion to me, that looks like a leek. The leaves are twisting round, and also there, that looks like a leek, and that looks like a leek, and also that one there. So they're obviously not cleaning the machinery out. I didn't have any leeks on the go when I planted all these. These were sown around about Christmas time, and the leeks were at least a month later. So that's a bit frustrating. I have some Spanish onions there, sweet Spanish onions, North Holland blood red. Yep, they're all looking okay. These are French variety. I can't remember the name of them, but they're looking good. I wasn't very happy with them to begin with, but they've picked up and they're looking quite well. And the autumn sown onion sets, which I've never grown before, white, red and yellow, they're looking good. But you can never get away from the fact of the onion going to seed. I've got 3 going to seed. 2 red ones, that one there and the one next to it, and 1 white one there. The rest don't look as though there's any signs, and they are starting to just bulb up a little bit. But onions going to seed, you just can't seem to get away from them. I'll pull them now because they won't come to anything. They'll just go hollow. So I'll pull them and use them in the kitchen. Garlic, elephant garlic and ordinary garlic. I've got 2 types of ordinary garlic, a soft neck and a hard neck. I don't know the names of them. But the hard neck, you can see the skeps are coming on them already. That's very early, that is. And also some of the elephant garlic are putting seed heads up. Noticed them a couple of weeks ago, a start of them. So that seems a bit early to me, that does. There's one there, looks like it's having a bit of a party inside. There's all little bits coming out of that one. So yeah, elephant garlic and ordinary garlic, they look well, but just coming to the end of the season a bit soon for me. I do believe that these skeps, well, they're lovely eaten, they are a bit of a delicacy, but when they go up and then they curl round into the letter C and curl back round again, apparently that is when the garlic is ready for harvesting. So I'll keep an eye on that. These are the baubles off the elephant garlic from underneath, and I've only got 3 out of about 2 dozen I planted, and I have had a dig around and the others have gone rotten. So I'll try again with those next year, and I'll have to keep them a bit drier. I did leave them outside all winter, but and I did keep them off the ground, thinking that would stop them being too wet, but obviously not. Have to excuse the noise of the wind if you can hear it behind me. Brassica bed, they're looking well. I wasn't very pleased with the seedlings when they first come up, and I neglected them a little bit, but I was going to start sowing them again, but they're coming on nicely now. I have named all the varieties, which I will name on a different video, but I'm just trying to run through this as quick as I possibly can. Over here I have Celery Discovery. They're looking good. I'm covering these every night as well with fleece. And over there is another 4 of the cutting celery, and I will bring the pallet collars up as these grow to try and keep the sun off them a bit if I can, and I'm watering them every single day. Trial potatoes, they're all through now. We'll be tasting some of these, and then if we like them we'll be keeping the seed off these. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, there's 11 varieties there, and I'll be letting you know what I think of those. Other brassica bed, I have got some swede and a few other things to go in here, but at the moment I've got some giant cabbage, red and ordinary cabbage. and I've put a tyre underneath them just to keep the leaves off the ground. And if they get a little bit too big, I can always put a brick underneath them to lift that up, just to stop any ground damage or anything like that. And if you want an idea of size, they're full-size tractor tyres, honest. Peas, disappointing. This is the second sowing. Bit hit and miss. Those there are petit pois, never grown the small petit pois. And the other two rows there are green Hirschschaft, and that's the second sowing. The first sowing was old seed, and that didn't do very well. And I found my own seed that I saved, and that hasn't done much better. Usually direct sowing, they do ever so well. Asparagus, we've had quite a few feeds off these, and you can see that there'll be a little bit for tonight's tea as well. I have got some sown from seed, a dozen plants, but it'll be 3 or 4 years before I start onto those. And quickly, I just show you, that's my spring sown broad beans. They're coming on nicely, they are. That variety's Lades Hang Down. That's a new variety for me. I should be seeing what they're like and keeping the seed off them if they're any good. And Aqua Dulce, the autumn sown ones. I started to nip the tops off these when they were about waist height, and they do keep growing, but it stops any lush bits for the black fly to get into, and also it helps to make them set. And as you can see, there's some beans coming on these, and they have set all the way up, all of them. My only problem is I'll be harvesting on these. I've put them a lot wider this year than normal, and they're very compact plants, and harvesting is going to be a problem. I might have to rethink how I do these next year. Sorry about the sun. But as you can see, all the way down there's beans, and they're like that all the way around. I hope that's been of interest to you. I've tried to whiz through it as quickly as possible. I have a frame up there which I'm hoping to grow some tall sunflowers up for the Sunflower Challenge 2020. Tallest one in a container, widest heads and best display. So many thanks for watching. I hope you're all safe and well in these challenging times. Take good care, everybody. If you like what you see, please subscribe and leave your comments. I will always reply to all of them. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.